They are indeed. Thank you, Pete. Well, our viewers' fashion competition, designer fashion competition winners coming up very shortly. But first, here's Marie-Louise with today's Cup Day Fashions on the Field. No, we just had a little technical problem there. Can we do our fashion competition winners? Have we got those ready? Can't do those? We'll take a break. We'll sort all this out. We'll take a break. We'll come back and do it for you then.
Good afternoon.
I don't think Ned ever wore a hat, did he? He certainly didn't in the end. I was about to be very ordinary then, I better not. Welcome back to the Melbourne Cup of 1995. Well, we've sorted out our little glitch. We'll blame it on the rain. We've been looking for something to blame the rain on for the last 4 years. Here's Marie-Louise with Fashions on the Field.
Thanks, Tim. Well, on Cup Day, there are two categories for fashions on the field: classic racewear and carnivale. And it's good to see that even on a day like today, the fashion punters have come to the party and anything goes.
Fabulous, wonderful individual. Thank you. And remember, I've known you longer than your daughter.
Champa's all right for you, Pat. Lovely, sweetie. Should we finish off?
Joining me now is supermodel Daniela Pestova, judge of Fashions on the Field, Carnivale section. Daniela, what do you think of the fashions you've seen here today?
Some of it is wild. I mean, it's a lot of fun. People put really a lot of input into what to wear. I've seen some great stuff. It's great. It's fun. I've never seen anything like it.
And why did this outfit win?
I think for me it was the attitude. I mean, there's definitely a lot of attitude, and then everything is just, you know, from head to toe. It's perfect. You know, the color, the shape, everything. Great job.
Okay, enjoy your stay in Australia.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job. Very brave and courageous to even do it on a day like today in Melbourne. Well, we brought Tim Bailey in on the train with a whole bunch of, well, fairly quiet punters. I wonder what they're like now. Here's Timmy leaving with them.
Well, folks, we were meant to catch the train home. Have a look at this. Thousands of people just streaming out of Flemington. It can rain, but no one can ever poop this party, let me assure you. And I've made my mind up. I'm not going home yet. I've had too much fun. Did I back a winner? Did I back Doremus? A short answer to that question. Does it look like it? I've had a shocker, but it's just the spirit, it's just the history, it's just the enthusiasm associated with the Melbourne Cup that's got me, and it's got me for a couple more hours yet. They can have the queuing. I'm not going to go home. This is what they're after, by the way. This is the train that we came in on. This is the train that takes people home. About a train every 5 minutes lobbed here between the hours of 8 and about 10 o'clock. 350 to 500 people on each train. Sensational way to travel. I'm glad I'm not going home on it, though. As I say, it's raining, but no one can dampen the enthusiasm for the Melbourne Cup. Look out. We're going to go mad in Melbourne tonight. See ya.
Oh, what a he didn't go home on the train. That means he's going to come and be in the tent later with us. Oh, dear. Oh, well, you can't help bad luck. No bad luck here. Here's Lee Friedman, and representing the owners of Doremus, Terry Henderson. Hello, fellas.
Tim, how are you?
Are you happy or what?
Oh, I'm very happy. Yeah, it's the best feeling in sport, I think.
Did you have a concern when you didn't run him on the weekend?
No, I never really worried about that because I thought he was the right horse not to run. I kept my options open all week, but come Thursday I knew he didn't need another run.
Yeah.
Then we had the option of galloping at Sandown, and I couldn't let Derm and Mark have all the fun down there on their own, so we snuck down there and galloped him, and the work Saturday was plenty good enough to suffice.
Really. Well, he's proved himself to be, without any shadow of a doubt, the best staying horse in the country.
Well, I think he's a great handicap horse. I'd always quietly had an opinion of him similar to Superimpose as a handicapper. Yeah. Let me say that, as a handicapper. Sure. And I think he proved that today.
He certainly did. He certainly did. Terry, you're not happy at all either.
No.
Can you put into some sort of couple of phraseology or words what it's actually like as the owner of a horse to stand up there in that stand and your horse goes past the post first in the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, well, Tim, as I said, you dream about it in this town as a kid, you know. You grow up with the Melbourne Cup as being part of your life, and all of a sudden, one day you're standing out there and being presented with the cup. It's unbelievable.
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen it yet? No, you never have when I bring you up here. And I've had you up here a couple of times in the last few years. And I know you're probably not that interested in the other horses in the race, but terrific run by the 3-year-old, Nothing Like a Dane. He's probably going to be something pretty special.
Yeah, he's going to be a great horse. I mean, congratulations to Gai and her team, because to get a 3-year-old, his first preparation to run that good in the Melbourne Cup and a testing Melbourne Cup where they're running on the ground that bad.
Yes.
Was a super performance, and I think he's there's no doubt he's a star of the future.
Didn't he go to the line well?
Yeah, he's got that stayer's action, hasn't he? He just gets his head down and runs, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does, and Damien's not happy at all either. Well, you probably wouldn't have heard it or seen it, but Johnny Letts was coming back with Damien, and oh, here we go. I think that was Gai. Thinking she might be a chance. Anyway, Johnny Letts was coming back talking to Damien on the horse, and Damien put his arm around him and said, "Mate, I've just won the Melbourne Cup."
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. He really couldn't believe it when I finally got to have a word with him. It's something he's really wanted to do. Is that guy happy? Or?
That little bloke's pretty happy as well. Well, you know, I know that you trainers, you guys in particular, I mean, you have to set horses for this week because it's the most important week on the turf calendar. Yeah, we try and have that was our plan all year. We wanted to have our horses peaking this week because it's the best. They're the best races, and you get the best exposure and for all those good things. And you know, this year we've got it pretty right. Yeah. Plans for Doremus? I suppose you've got to ask the bloke next to you. No, I don't have to ask him. He's one of those really good owners who leaves it up to me. Whatever you say goes. But he knows very well that he'll be going out for a spell now. Yeah, have a quiet little time for the rest of the summer. That's right. Yeah. I wonder if Peter Donegan, are you down there listening to us?
Yes, I'm talking to Richard Friedman, Tim.
Oh, are you? I thought there might be something you might like to ask Lee or Terry while I've got them up here.
Well, actually,
maybe Richard wants to ask Lee
Richard Friedman is here, so I'll just get a microphone. It needs to be plugged in, Jen. It doesn't work like that. There we go. Is there anything you want to ask your brother in particular? Do you want to repeat what you were just saying?
I said, Lee, you're looking more and more like Bart every year.
Ooh, thanks.
You can say, Lee, you can say anything because he can't hear you.
He can't hear me?
No.
He's a little weasel.
He said you're a nice fella.
That's not
Well, it was a super run, though, wasn't it, to the both of you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, it's just the thrill of a lifetime, and it doesn't get any different, doesn't get any less. It's just the one race that stops this whole of Australia, and what can you say? It's fantastic.
And a great ride again by Damien Oliver.
Well, he's an absolute genius, that Damien. I mean, no one, when he's on song, no one can think in a race better or ride better than he can. Just a genius.
2 strides after the line, I thought Lee was going to do a Frankie Dettorian vault off about 2 strides after the finish.
I thought he was going to fall off when he hit the line.
That was some sort of salute.
Yeah, that's a $200 salute, I think.
It certainly was.
I don't think he'll mind paying it, do you?
No, well,
I'm sure he'll touch
you probably try and put it on someone to pay for it.
I'm sure, I have no
like
doubt.
you, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations to you both,
Pete.
Terry and Lee.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Guys.
That's just terrific. It really is terrific. I mean, it's just something that you watch out there, and you watch the look on the jock's face, and you watch the look on you fellas' faces. It just must be so exciting.
Well, I've never played football at a level where I'd ever be in a grand final team, but I would imagine talking to guys who have, it's very similar.
Yeah,
very similar feeling. To win this race that everybody knows about, you know, and now a lot of the world knows about, and that's a very special thing.
Time to celebrate. Thanks for coming up and joining us. Stay there for a second. Lee Friedman and representing the owners. Terry Henderson, of course, of the Melbourne Cup winner for 95. Doremus, and what a great win it was. Time now to announce... Go! Look, fellas, I've got to work here. Time to announce the winners of the Crown Casino Fashion Competition for today. 3 designers, Linda Britton, Christopher Graf and Third Millennium, have each designed an outfit just for Cup Day. And throughout the day, we've been asking you, of course, for your calls to vote for the most popular designer. The designer chosen receives a trip for 2, flying Qantas to the Gold Coast, staying in paradise, and it really is a beautiful place. The fabulous Marriott Surfers Paradise Resort, luxury 5-star accommodation. It's a great pub, there's no doubt about that. The warmth and casual elegance of colonial Queensland really is lovely. Been there. Certainly a great prize, and Murray Louise is with the 3 designers in our marquee. ML.
That's right, I'm about to open the lucky envelope, and the winner is Linda Britton. Oh, Linda, congratulations. You seem like you didn't expect it.
I didn't. I thought I wouldn't have to say anything. I could walk off.
Congratulations, you're off to the Gold Coast. Have you been to the Gold Coast?
I just came back, yes, last week.
You're off again. Now tell me just quickly, this fabulous outfit, what inspired this outfit?
Well, it's from my spring-summer collection, and I suppose the Audrey Hepburn 50s Dior look did inspire me, yes.
And how long ago did you really start thinking about it and working on it?
Oh, about 3 months ago on the collection, yes.
And do you think it's practical for race days?
Well, I do, and we've had a plastic raincoat over it, see-through, right. So yes, it's been terrific, and we've had wonderful comments about it, haven't we? We've had a lot of fun.
Obviously, the rest of Australia loved it too, so congratulations. Congratulations to you, it looks fabulous. And Tim, I'll let you tell us what the home viewer has won.
Be my pleasure, ML, my pleasure. Congratulations again to Linda Britton, and from everyone that voted for Linda Britton, good on you. One person had to be chosen and had to win. Their name is John Wilkinson. Good on you, John. Comes from Edgewater in the Golden West in West Aussie. Congratulations to you. You have won an absolute night of your life for two at Melbourne's Crown Casino, including the accommodation, the dinner, the airfares will fly you over, of course, the gaming vouchers and a chauffeur-driven limousine to and from the Crown Casino, and that is a prize and a half. Congratulations to you, John. Well, what an exciting day, but we've still got one to go. Here's Peter.
And it's the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club plate, Tim, over 1,400 metres. And as I mentioned, we've got 10 scratchings, but a field of 7. Even though the fields have been small today, Jen, the racing's been quite good. A couple of close finishes.
Yes, particularly the last. Very close finish there. The photo was called for, but Greg Hall was a bit too strong. I thought he thought it was Frankie Dettori, but it wasn't. It was Jason Weaver, of course.
Well, I think we've proven today that the place to be is hard up against the rail, and I think that's something that we said at the start of the day too. Once they start getting out 4 or 5 off the rail, then it really is getting quite heavy.
Oh, absolutely. You walked the track yesterday, and obviously they had some trials down the outside of the track earlier on this week, and I don't think the track had really recovered, especially with this rain that we have had.
I must say, the atmosphere was a little different earlier today, but it really got, it built up tremendously before the Melbourne Cup.
As it normally does.
Yeah.
It's always a great build-up, and, well, there's nothing like the Melbourne Cup.
OK, well, these horses are in the yard now for the last race, and let's take a look at them. Number 1 is Regal Half, and the rider here is Stephen Arnold. And this horse finished a long way down the track at Morfordville after wins at Victoria Park and Caulfield, and those wins were back in April.
Yes, and Regal Half's only go on the heavy going was as a 2-year-old, and he was beaten about 7 lengths on that occasion. I think first up here he might have his work cut out from barriers 17 and with 56 kilos.
You wouldn't mind the form line here through number 3, Monopolised, Jen. 2 runs ago, won at Randwick, beat a horse called Juggler. And Juggler put up a sensational effort to win at Moonee Valley on Cox Plate Day.
Oh, absolutely. That form line does look exceptionally good. This horse handles the wet as well, so he certainly comes into contention. So he's fairly nice odds too, I might say, and he's got Michael Kinane on board. I think he's got a good chance in the race at nice odds.
Number 8 is Mar Winner. I remember this horse being down here last year, and he was a chance in one of the races over the Carnival 12 months ago. Darren Beeben takes the ride for Jack Denham.
I don't think Mar Winner's out of it at all, Peter. He resumed with a fair run on the heavy track, so he's going to be a bit fitter for that run. He's stepping up to the 1,400 metres. That's going to suit him, and he's there with an each-way chance.
Brian Guy trains number 11, another victor. Larry Cassidy is the rider, and this horse goes into the race as a last start winner over 1,400 metres at Randwick.
Well, yes, and now he's struck form. He's one of those horses, when they do strike form, they normally hold it. And he's got 52.5, and he's a horse that does handle the wet, so he must come into contentions here.
Sir Boom number 13 is to be ridden by Brian Werner, and winner in Open Handicap Company at Seymour at its last start, Jen.
Yes, quite a few here that do handle the wet, and he is another one of them, Sir Boom. He's a pretty handy horse, this. 52.5 kilos, comes in very nice, and I think he's got an excellent each-way chance.
Nifty Neville Wilson is aboard 14 Final Tempo. He went around in the Epsom 2 runs ago and finished near the tail of the field, but that was flying pretty high. He was a 200-to-1 chance that day. Got back to something like his class and ran second at Geelong behind Monsieur.
Well, he's suited stepping up to the 1,400 metres here. It is a bit tougher than his last race, but drawn 52 and another horse that does appreciate the heavy track.
Number 15, Navy Brass. Brett Preble is the rider here. Darren Gauci originally had the mount, but again we say good day to the Gouch and hope he's recovering. And Navy Brass, his run at Moonee Valley 2 runs ago was very good. That was over 1,000 metres on the opening day of the new track there. Finished only a length behind Poetic King.
Very good run there, and of course his next start, it was over 1,100 metres. I just thought it was probably a bit short for him second up. He is looking for the 1,400 metres. If you go back to April in the Victoria Handicap, he ran 3rd in that. That was a good class race, and I think he's going to be quite hard to beat here.
I like the look of him, Navy Brass, in the yard. I eventually went for Ma Winner. What about you, Jen?
Well, I'm going for Navy Brass, number 15, from number 3, Monopolise, and number 11, Another Victor.
Let's take a look at the tape call. Last race on Melbourne Cup Day. Here's Daniel.
Regal Half, $15.70 will be the rank outsider of this field of 7. Monopolise, $7.10. Marwina, $9.40 and $4.10 for the place. Another Victor, $4.30. Sir Boom, $3.40. I think he'll be the leader in the race. Final Tempo, $4.80 and Navy Brass at $7.40. And again, only 2 place dividends on the last event. Terry Kennedy in the betting ring. Sir Boom is the favourite on the tote. What about in the ring, Terence?
And Sir Boom, all the rage down here with bookmakers at the moment. Open up at around the $4 marker, has been backed in very solid. It's in a good point and a half from that quote. Regal Half, no money at all for it. Monopolise has drifted in the betting somewhat. Marwina, $9 on the tote. That's shorted down here with bookmakers. It is the lucky last, the get out stakes. There is some damage being done here. A lot of the punters are just holding their own. Of course, 3 very special guests. Little Bo Peep. That's you. You're going to tip in the last race if you won in the cup.
Well, I've lost in the cup, but I haven't made a betting yet.
Little Bo Peep, the fairy princess is in the middle, of course.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and this princess had a good day?
Oh, it's fabulous. It's great. Great atmosphere. I love it. The outcome of the year.
And, of course, Maid Marian to finish off.
Yes, I've also had a great day, even though I didn't back the winner.
Well, there they are, the trifecta from the nursery rhyme books. Of course, hopefully we can get the trifecta in the lucky last here at Flemington.
Terry Kennedy in Fairyland, a similar position he'll find himself in the car park about 8 o'clock tonight. The map for the final event, the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club Plate, and they start at the 1400 and they'll begin the sweeping turn at about the 1200, but of course in a smaller field tactics will play more of a part than positioning. Ma Winner from me, Navy Brass from Jen, Final Tempo from John Litz, another Victor from Roy Higgins. So we've tipped 4 of the 7 in the final event. They're on their way to the stores. We'll be back for the running of the lucky last on Melbourne Cup Day after this break.
Splinters.
Oh yes, they have a good time here at the Melbourne Cup. Even when it's raining, you can sing and maybe even do a bit of dancing in the rain. And that's the way to stay happy on what has been a damp afternoon, but certainly an enjoyable one. And I'm very happy to say from the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club that Sir John Swain has joined us, and I know back home they'll be watching this.
Yes, I think with great interest. Obviously the interest would have been in the Melbourne Cup itself, but this race is being simulcast, and they'll be betting on this race, as I'm sure they have the previous 2.
What is the interest like in the Melbourne Cup in Hong Kong, Sir John?
There's quite a lot of interest because it's a big international event, and we do have a very large Australian community. So we put on a special afternoon for the Melbourne Cup with lunch, and the 3 races televised, and it draws quite a good crowd, and not just the Australian community, but there is a fair amount of interest in what is a very big race.
Finally, I know this is your first Melbourne Cup. What about impressions of this marvellous day?
Terrific atmosphere and really quite unique. Despite the weather, I think it's been a great day's racing.
Well, hopefully we can have you back here in 12 months' time. We might see a bit of sunshine.
Thank you very much.
Sir John Swain from the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club. And this is their race, and we wish you well in Hong Kong. Hope you are backing a winner over there. And, well, the rain is continuing to fall here, but there they are behind the stalls for the final event, another Victor. So Dan and Gary have done such a terrific job all day. Take it away in the commentary box.
Peter, once again, thank you very much.
Boys, I think we better start
been a super day, despite the rain, but I'm sure we made it good even with the precipitation, Gary. We still saw some fine racing and an unforgettable Melbourne Cup.
Oh, fantastic, Dan. And when you think that Lee Freeman not only trained the winner, but had the 4th and 5th horse, it's a great effort.
Yeah, and I think he probably had the 6th or 7th horse too, and Storm, it wasn't all that far behind them.
Out of 4 runners, it's pretty good. And Damien Oliver, he says, well, Dad, if he was up there, he'd be looking down, he'd be so proud of you, son.
Yeah, indeed he would be. Well done, Damien, well done. To the whole crew, Paces Australia, Terry Henderson, great job. John Letts behind the barrier, small field of 7, but we know they're all group sprinter milers, John Letts.
Yes, Dan, and they look very well. They well turned out, these horses. The top weight looked well, actually. Regal Half, I know it's the outsider of the field, but it looked well. Monopolise looks well with Michael Kinane on it. Ma Winner caught the eye a little bit, looks good. The horse that I did like was number 11, Another Victor. Looks very, very well. I don't know whether he's in the market or not, or what odds he is, but he looks very, very well. He's my pick from around here behind the barrier.
Let's see his second favourite at $4.40. Sir Boom will run the favourite, $3.70, to be ridden by Brian Werner. And Regal Half goes in. They're set for the last. Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club played in the Rockford Racing. Taught them away a good break too. Sir Boom best to begin on the inside of Another Victor, and going forward, Final Tempo is going to take over by the looks of it. Final Tempo just in front of Sir Boom, and Regal Half out wide. Now Sir Boom trying to kick through on the rails. Working into fourth placing was Navy Brass, and settling back second last now was as Final Tempo takes over back into second last position was Mar Wiener, and monopolised last. But this field of 7, remember, and there's only about 5 lengths between first from last. Well, it's the New Zealander Final Tempo taking up the running by a length and a quarter now to Regal Half and Sir Boom third. Another Victor's actually one off the rails running fourth, and then Navy Brass fifth. Mar Wiener around it sixth, and 1 length away monopolised. Well grouped up though as they run towards the turn at the 650. Final Tempo 1 length in front of Regal Half on the outside of Sir Boom. 1 away Another Victor, just ridden along a little bit fourth. Mar Wiener hooked out fifth. Navy Brass is following Sir Boom through as they turned and monopolised last of all. 500 metres to go. Leader Final Tempo by a length to Regal Half. Sir Boom is third in on the inside, needs to get away from the rail at the moment. Another Victor hooked to the outside, and Navy Brass is getting through. Final Tempo though the leader, 1.5 lengths in front of Regal Half. Then Sir Boom to the outside, but Final Tempo, he hasn't moved on it yet. Oh, it's 3 in front. It's got it shot to pieces. Of course it has. It's a leader. Final Tempo well clear of Regal Half and Sir Boom. Final Tempo, the grey, will win the last on Melbourne Cup Day by 3 lengths. Regal Half second, Sir Boom third, monopolised fourth, Another Victor fifth, and then Navy Brass, who weakened out of it, and Mar Wiener at the tail.
Well, that's been the sort of story all day, Dan. If you can get to the rails, hold your position, it's a big advantage. And Final Tempo, he was on that fence and he came up the straight like a greyhound, hugging the paint.
Well, they settled 1, 2, 3, and that's the way they went for 1,400 metres, and the positions did not change.
And great to see Neville Wilson ride a winner.
$5 and $2.40. He's a real workman, Neville. But it was a clever ride. He never moved on that horse, did he, until about the 200-metre point?
Just held it together, had the fence, and as we said, he just held it right up against the fence and just came right along there. Won very well.
14, 1 and 13 are the placings on the last event. Sort of thought Sir Boom may have led. It often does in its races. Bit of a surprise.
It was, yes, but it just shows you, like this horse, they must have thought a lot of it. Ran at Randwick in the Epsom. Here they are right. You can see Neville, he's got this horse right hard up against the rail. And, you know, it's definitely been the best ground all day. But, oh, gee, raced true. He was, he knew what he was doing, getting to the fence and just holding it. But he's just riding him nicely, hands and heels here. I thought the top weight was a very good run. Here you can see how close he is to the fence. He had a little peep there. He must have thought, well, I've got a little petrol in the tank here. He's had another little peep. I think you want to put more on when you see a jockey doing that, Dan.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often enough when you back them yourselves, too. Well, obviously a distinct advantage there by being on the fence. So that was the case all day. And Gary, you tipped that to us earlier on, too, so congratulations for that.
Thanks,
Johnny Letts, last event, Neville Wilson. He's one of the oldest jockeys in Victoria, but he's also one of the best.
Can you? Yeah, well, he's trying to beat me back. He's got the rail. I can't get alongside him. But it's just been the pattern. I was talking to Neville. Neville, you were telling me earlier as we pulled up that you didn't go out with any set plan to lead. You just wanted to follow Sir Boom. When you landed in front, you just rode him from the lead.
Yeah, well, he is a natural leader, but I thought Sir Boom perhaps would lead me. When he landed in front, I just rode him. It was beautiful, you know.
And Nev, last start, he ran second behind Monsieur. Good run. You rode him.
Yeah, excellent run at Geelong. He's probably a little bit fresh. And Chris training for the race today, and he's done a wonderful job.
Yeah, well, his hand got through the ground very well, and it's a nice way to finish off the Melbourne Cup Day, Nev.
Pretty good, mate.
Good luck, Neville.
Well done, John Letts with Neville Wilson. And this horse is a New Zealander. He has been over here and run a few races here before, Peter Donegan. He's won 6 of 17 now.
Yes, and that was a pretty good front-running ride by Neville Wilson too. Hard up against the rail on the way around and hard up against the rail on the way back with Lettsy in hot pursuit. But Neville Wilson works very hard, one of the country jockeys who does do a lot of work, and good to see him salute. Coming back there with John Patterson to wind up Melbourne Cup Day, Tim, and what has been a pretty cold one too.
I understand, in fact, the coldest Melbourne Cup Day for 83 years, did you say? You'd never know in here, it's about 27 in here.
Oh, good. Yeah. I hope you stayed warm.
We did. What do we get? 13.6 degrees or something. Yes. Well, it's a very cold day indeed, but we don't care about any of that now. I think it's been a great day. Pardon me, and a tribute to the people of Melbourne who really turned out here in their tens of thousands. We got an official crowd yet? Have you heard any word, Pete?
No, I just made an inquiry. They haven't got one yet, but hopefully we'll have it before the end of the telecast.
Well, if there was 60 here on Saturday, I'd suggest there was probably 45 or 50 here today, and that's amazing. Yeah. For a pretty inclement sort of a day.
Could have even been more than that, you know, because I know there are a lot of people out the back. From where we were, it was very hard to see the crowd, as it always is, but you saw on some of our high shots throughout the afternoon that there were still a lot of people there, especially before the Melbourne Cup, and they were 10 and 12 deep, and you can see there's still quite a few here too. I think they're heading to the Champagne Bar and what's left of the car park.
At various places in the car park and various tents, marquees, bars, clubs, anything else they can get to between now and when race day finishes. And I'd say at the FBI headquarters, the Friedman tent, there'd be a hot time being had already, and why not?
Well, they've already said they're going to shout us one.
One?
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have big ones?
I sincerely hope so.
Well, Peter, it's been, I think, a tremendous Melbourne Cup day. That race was always going to be a lottery, but as it turned out, if you backed a great horse in the race, you won your money.
He's a terrific horse. He now becomes the 9th horse to win the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double in the same year, Tim. First since Let's Elope back in '91. And not bad for a horse that supposedly has got spindly legs, I'll get it out, and is nothing to look at. It just goes to...
He's not a very attractive horse at all. Doesn't matter though.
He won't win beauty contest, but he's won the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup, so I think that makes up for it.
Jen?
Well, I just think that all credit has to go to, firstly, Damien Oliver. What a great ride it was, and what a fantastic jockey he is. You know, he's ridden in various parts of the world already, and you're going to see him over other parts of the world. He's just world class. He really, you know, he's so professional. He can mix it with the best anywhere.
Well, to see Johnny Letts put his arm around him and Damien say, mate, I can't believe it, I've just won the Melbourne Cup. I mean, it's just terrific.
The 2 horses that chased him home, nothing like a Dane. To do what he has done is a super horse.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's not overstating it. And the 3rd horse, Vintage Crop, his 3rd visit here, he was way back on the turn. He's a 9-year-old and he flashed home and ran 3rd. He is terrific. He's got a heart as big as himself.
He certainly does, and for everybody at home who put some money on Double Trigger, and there'd be plenty of you, even the trainer has no idea what went wrong.
Yeah, could have run the race again the way he came back.
Yeah. All right, I think we're just about to get correct weight from Mr. Lawler.
Correct weight, thank you.
Thank you. Does that mean we can get some dividends before we go today? Is that possible, or we can? All right, here's Danny Malecki with the Victorian Divvies full.
$5 even and $2.40 for Final Tempo. $5.70 for Regal Half, the rank outsider in the field of 7. No 3rd dividend for Saboom. Quinella paid $41.70. The race-to-race double, $18.30. The exacta paid $90.20. The daily double paid $64.60. And the trifecta is yet to come to hand for the last event at Flemington. The numbers are 14, 1 and 13 with correct weight on the last event. Race number 6 was the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Doremus, $9.90 and $3.40. Nothing Like a Dane, $4.80, and Vintage Crop, $3.10. Quinella, $93.20. The race-to-race double, $97.10. Exacta paid $241.10. And the trifecta, $1,519.20 to wrap up from the commentary box today. Terry Kennedy, I'm sure you had a busy day.
Certainly was a busy day down here in the betting ring. Final Tempo was extremely well backed in that last race, as was Sir Boom. And just speaking to most of the bookies down here, they have had a losing Melbourne Cup day. And speaking to Steve Cropley, one of the major bookmakers down here, he said, you just don't lay a horse trained by Lee Friedman, ridden by Damien Oliver in a big race. Doremus was a bad result for a lot of bookmakers down here, but what a great triumph for the FBI. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, TK. Well, I'm no judge at all. I'll let Peter Donegan announce the crowd to you because I wasn't even close.
Extraordinary, 74,000 plus. And as I said, a lot of them were out the back, Tim, so it was very hard to tell. But that was the only time... I'm just trying to get you out of it here. The only time
They were all in the bar when I went out to have a look. Yeah.
They were out there for the Melbourne Cup.
What?
In the marquee.
Yeah, in the marquee.
74,000 in the marquee.
Well, not
Big
quite,
marquee.
but it was busy down there. You know,
you haven't taken the smile off your face since the end of the Melbourne Cup.
Why is that?
Well, have a guess.
You backed the winner.
Absolutely.
There you go.
I'll get your tips tonight.
No, I'm very happy girl.
Dear Jenny Chapman, goodbye to you until Thursday.
Yes, I'll see you again on Thursday.
Yeah. Mary Louise, are you out there with us?
I'm out here with Tim Bailey with us.
Yeah, it took us a while to find the right spot, but gee, we're here now, and I don't think I'm going anywhere, Marie-Louise. What about you?
Well, I'll sit around for a while, I think, Tim, and stay and get dry. It's been a pretty wet day, but we've had a great time.
We have indeed. The people were the winner today. Good-humoured. There was great enthusiasm. The rain didn't matter a bit. Excuse me a minute. I'm off to do something more important than talk to you, Webster.
Bailey, by the way, not only are you a fibber, you're a lunatic as well, because it would have taken you 30 seconds to find that marquee. Goodbye.
Thank you.
See you on Thursday. Well, a Melbourne Cup that I think I'll remember for a very long time for a variety of reasons, but not the least of which those two jockeys and great ones, one retired, one the current champion, with their arms around each other after the race. I just love it. It's great.